this is Matthew Osborne, editor of the Northeast Georgian, and we're talking to our community leaders in the midst of this national COVID-19 coronavirus crisis that we're going through. A lot of things have been disrupted in our normal lives, but our community's still here and we're sticking together. And we're talking with School Superintendent Matthew Cooper. We recently made the decision to go along with the governor's recommendation to close schools for the next 2 weeks out of abundance of caution. And tell us a little bit about why you did that and what we're looking at as far as the plan going forward.
Well, first, Mr. Osborne, I appreciate this opportunity, and I appreciate the work that the Northeast Georgian is doing for our community. I want to say that the school system did not close schools for 2 weeks out of panic. People in Habersham County need to know that.
Sure.
We closed our schools for 2 weeks as a proactive measure, primarily to keep the coronavirus out of our schools. We have 14 schools. Mm-hmm. And to also keep it from spreading in the community. The school system has a responsibility, obviously, to 50 staff members, but we also have a responsibility to look after the greater community. And I believe that closing the schools down for 2 weeks addresses both of those. Mm-hmm. We did respond, as you mentioned, to Governor Kemp's call to action. Yesterday, as most people are aware, Governor Kemp did a press conference, and he used those words, call to action, and he said, this is a call to action for school systems to consider closing for the next 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Our school system has responded to that. So the reason we close schools for 2 weeks would be it's a proactive measure, but we're also responding to the governor's call to action. And I don't believe the governor's panicking either. In fact, I would commend the governor for getting out ahead of this and doing what he can to keep our state safer.
Well, that's the big thing is you don't want to get to where, 6 weeks from now, we don't want to be in a position where we said, boy, I wish we'd have done this 6 weeks ago. That's
Absolutely.
Really the key.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure anyone has studied this coronavirus any more than I have as a school superintendent. We've been working on this for well over 2 weeks now. And we had a good plan in place. And my thought today is that most people in Habersham County are going to be fine. We are concerned about some groups. We're concerned for our students and staff members that have serious health issues. We are concerned about them.
Definitely.
We are concerned about the elderly. And I'll tell you, Matthew, it really bothers me, and I want this said, it really bothers me when people, they say things like, just the old people. That's wrong. And I believe that in America, we need to value everyone's life. No matter what their age, and I want the elderly in our community to know their superintendent cares about them too. And these steps we're taking, they're on my mind as well. Mm-hmm. And they do have some reason to be concerned, and the elderly do need to take some extra precautions, as do those that have special health needs. But again, by and large, most people are going to be fine, even if they get this virus.
Well, it sounds like from school board meetings and other discussions that we've had about different things that your school community, as far as your staff and everybody, is really pulled together on this thing.
Absolutely. And pulling together is important. I do think in the coming days, and we have to deal with reality here, people are going to start hearing, and some of it will be rumor, some of it will be fact. They're going to start hearing that people are being tested for the virus right here in Habersham County. We shouldn't be surprised by that, nor should we be alarmed by it. And so the way to handle it, I believe, is we need to think of others. And if we can not be selfish and think of others, especially those that I've been calling the most vulnerable, the elderly, those with health issues, I believe just the very act of thinking of others will bring a certain level of calmness to the community.
Now, you're closed for 2 weeks? Obviously, athletic events are off for
Yes,
that 2 weeks, or are the athletic events? You're not canceling spring sports altogether at this point?
I don't mind explaining that a little bit.
Sure.
The Georgia High School Association, and again, I'm going to commend them because they stepped up and made a tough decision, and they made a recommendation, and that's what it is. And it's like the governor. The governor as you said, made some suggestions, some recommendations. It wasn't a mandate. But when the governor speaks, we need to listen. He is the leader of our state, and that's the attitude I take towards it. But speaking of athletics, the Georgia High School Association recommended that all athletic activities in Georgia be suspended for 2 weeks. And we called down there this morning to clarify, including today. So we canceled everything from today, next week, and the following week. And the reality is, we'll see what happens after that. We're going to be optimistic. And we're gonna want to see things are better in 2 weeks, and if that's the case, we may resume our athletics at that time.
Okay, so it's kind of all basically on the, reassessment basis in a couple of weeks.
Exactly.
See where we're at.
That's how I would put it. Right.
Okay. Anything else parents need to know about their students? The learning from home. You guys have packets, and do you have plans in place for if folks don't have great internet at their homes, that sort of thing?
Very difficult for us to address the internet issue. I think those in that situation are going to have to try to utilize public Wi-Fi where they can get it. But you know what? Neighbors are going to have to step up. Let's think about this. Neighbors are going to be neighbors. When there are challenges, and I haven't heard that talked about a lot, that we've got to look after each other too now. And that goes back to what I said about thinking of others and not just ourselves. And I don't think we need to live in fear and be afraid of each other. We've got to be careful with that. But speaking to our learning from home plan, the timing actually worked out quite well for the Habersham County school system. We already had a student holiday in place today.
Right. You guys are planning to clean the schools and whatnot.
Yeah, and as it turned out, it's a good thing we maintain this as a student holiday, because right now, in every one of our schools, our staff, they're working tirelessly on getting these plans. We had the plans in place, but there's a lot of finishing touches that need to be done there. And so we're going to come back again Monday and have another work day. We're going to bring everyone in again. All staff are going to work Monday, and then by Tuesday, we expect it's ready to roll out. These schools are communicating. They're going to communicate this afternoon with parents. Do that again on Monday. We'll have information on our website. But I feel real good about our learning from home plan. We are thinking about those that don't have a phone, don't have a computer. I gave the green light this morning to let parents come pick up a Chromebook if that's what they need.
Okay.
And we're doing the same thing with real books, by the way, because we want our children reading at home. And so we're going to have bags of books ready in our elementary schools. I'm real proud of that.
Good.
For parents to come pick up that may not have books in their homes. So
Okay.
I do want to say this. I know we're getting to the end of our talk here, but if we pull together, you mentioned those words, if we pull together, I believe we can easily overcome this virus. And I'm an old history teacher, and if you study history, all through American history, Americans have overcome even the greatest of challenges. So I'm real optimistic about how we'll handle this in Habersham County. I do encourage everyone to take care of themselves. Wash your hands frequently.
Definitely.
10 times more than you normally would, probably. I know that's what I'm doing right now.
Sure.
Wash your hands frequently. Take vitamin C. Limit your sugar intake, believe it or not. Sugar can weaken your immune system, so weaken your sugar intake, exercise, and get enough sleep. I think that is a critical factor, that we're all getting enough sleep. The good news is, you look outside, spring's here. We're starting to see flowers blooming, the trees are getting leaves, and I think that should give us a lot of optimism that the timing is as good as it could possibly be for this virus situation to arise. So I believe in Habersham County, we're going to get through this together.
Well, good. Well, we appreciate what you're doing for the young people and for the elderly and everybody else that may be affected by this. And we'll continue to do these videos with other community leaders here in the next week or so. And stay up to date on everything at thenortheastgeorgian.com.